Distasteful PR stunt. Piers hits the roof as Harry so fake that should be actor instead of prince. On Sunday, members of the royal family will pay their respects to Britain's fallen soldiers at the Remembrance Sunday service at the Cenotaph. The Queen's attendance at the annual event had been uncertain in the wake of her recent health scare. However, Buckingham Palace confirmed in an official statement yesterday that the Queen will attend this year's wreath-laying service. The palace noted that Her Majesty will, as has been the case for years, view the service from the balcony of the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office building. Last year's Remembrance Day ceremony did include some notable absentees, such as the Queen's son Prince Andrew, who missed the service after stepping back from royal duties. Harry and Meghan were also absent in the wake of the couple having quit the royal family earlier that year. The Duke of Sussex, who served in the army for 10 years and undertook 2 Afghanistan tours, marked Remembrance Sunday in California. Harry and Meghan visited the Los Angeles National Cemetery, where they left flowers on the grave site of 2 Commonwealth soldiers and placed a wreath at an obelisk. Mr. Morgan unleashed a furious tirade at the couple on ITV's Good Morning Britain after they published pictures of their time at the cemetery on social media and made them available to media outlets. Mr. Morgan said, "What they then do, they go to a military cemetery in Los Angeles and they then invite a photographer, one of their preferred photographers. Remember, they're very privacy-minded, these two. They don't like the press, they don't like photography, unless they're controlling it. And they then release a series of images of themselves at a cemetery, laying flowers, and a wreath and paying tribute. Now, Prince Harry is perfectly entitled as a former member of the armed forces to pay tribute to the armed forces, of course he is." He added, "However, this smacked to me as a really distasteful PR stunt designed to say to the palace, you might try and stop me having my right to have a livery servant lay my wreath, but you're not going to stop me grabbing the PR headlines. And I'm sorry, that sticks in my gullet, this guy is doing no duty." It was reported last year that the Duke of Sussex made a personal request for a wreath to be laid on his behalf at the service in London. Allegedly, Buckingham Palace denied Harry's request. Mr. Morgan's co-anchor at the time, Susanna Reid, was quick to jump to the defense of the Sussexes. She said, "My side of the story is that the armed forces mean a lot to Prince Harry. He served 10 years, he was blocked allegedly from having a wreath in his name placed at the cenotaph. Why wouldn't he want to show his respect when he has such a strong connection to the military?" Mr. Morgan sharply responded, "Why do it with a photographer in an American cemetery?" Ms. Reid said, "Because if you don't do it with a photographer, people don't know that you've done it." Mr. Morgan scoffed and added, "Oh please, do me a favor, you could have just issued a statement saying you're thinking of people." Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were accused of making last year's Remembrance Day tribute about themselves, as royal expert Russell Myers said they had a case to answer. The Sussexes paid their respects last year by laying a wreath and flowers at an obelisk to commemorate 2 fallen Commonwealth soldiers. Meghan wore a black wool coat and Harry a blue suit with his army medals. They released a series of photographs afterwards. Pod Save the Queen is hosted by Anne Gripper, and she is joined by the Mirror's royal editor Russell Myers. Ms. Gripper read out listener comments which branded the photographs staged and cringeworthy. Others, however, defended the Sussexes, saying it was appropriate and respectful given that Harry is a veteran himself. Mr. Myers said the sheer number of photographs had left him shocked and suggested that they could have just taken a picture of their backs, and another of the wreath they laid. While coronavirus restrictions at the time would have made it difficult for Harry to attend, he could have asked someone to lay one for him in his absence.